Hello, my loves, and welcome back to another creator video. How to be a creator, what to think about being a creator. I don't know. Just, if you're a creator, hello, I'm a creator. Let's chat about being a creator. So, today I actually wanted to talk about something that's not fun to talk about, but is definitely something important to talk about, and that's how the hell do we create while the world is on fire, both literally and politically, just in all the ways that the world is on fire, in all the ways that the world, and seeing what the world is going through right now, what we are going through, what our neighbors are going through. How do you continue? How do you do what you do?
Through the trees, my song will call out for you.
Creating things, being an artist in any sort of medium, in any way, being a creator in any way, it's always seen as this frivolous thing. But we know it's not. Just as like the prime example of it, we know it's not, and fascists know it's not, because what's the big thing that people remember about, Nazi Germany? It's the frickin' aesthetic. They knew what they were doing. They knew that art was powerful. They knew it, which is also why they always try to ban books, ban art, right? Ban any kind of art that represents something that is other than the tiny little box they would like to fit everybody in. So, first things first, and this is, been a hard one for me, but I've been doing it long enough that I feel pretty good about where I'm at, but you gotta stop doom scrolling. You have to get off of social media. Their algorithms are specifically made to make you angry, to make you upset, to basically just freeze your entire nervous system so that you cannot be regulated and you cannot get into a mindset to do what it is that you do in order to fight against what is happening, right? It's a very hard thing to do, and something that I would very highly suggest you do is weed out your, if there is one social media in particular that you love being on, that does have a lot of curated things, that's just it. Curate it. Either by muting accounts that you still want to follow but can't necessarily see all the time, or by literally just weeding out all the stuff that is not good for you. And it's hard. For me especially, it's hard because the place that I like to be is Instagram, which barf because of what, Meta is and Zuckerberg. I wish I could get off of there. However, I follow so many artists that I absolutely adore, and they don't really have a huge presence elsewhere that I can go to, right? On Instagram, I also follow a lot of news sources and things, not national news, because those things don't like to be real about stuff. And sometimes that gets to be too much. And so I will mute those accounts for myself, because the thing about doom scrolling, the thing about seeing all this news all the time, it's not good for your health. First of all, it's just not good for your mental health. But it's just, I could be aware of things, but me checking on the internet for updates every 3 seconds is not good for me at all. And it's me checking is not going to make the events happen faster, the things unfold faster. So I will see some of the news and then I move on. I get myself off of that. So yes, fill your social media that you really like being on, that you have, social media friends on. Fill that with so much art, so much inspiration for you, because that's the thing too about being a creator, is that none of us exist in vacuums, right? We all inspire each other. We are all these sort of beacons, right, for each other. So my light feeds your light and your light feeds my light. So follow artists, follow your artists, follow people that, I follow some good news stuff as well, just to make me happy and be like, okay, the world isn't completely falling apart. We are doing some really wonderful things in the world. It's just overshadowed by the very small amount of very rich men who just want to burn it all down. The second thing that I highly suggest doing is getting out of your house. Stop isolating yourself. This is something that I have always had a problem with, especially when depression hits. I very much go hermit mode. I'm kind of a hermit anyway. Like, I like being on my own, I like thinking through things, ideas, how I feel about things. I'm just somebody who likes to like self-reflect a lot or like think about stuff a lot, right? So I naturally don't want to be around people all the time, but this year has especially shown me how important it is to be around people who make you laugh, who will listen to you, who you have fun with, who you can share some of your struggles with, as long as everybody's okay and able to hear it, It's so important for us. We're communal animals, okay? That is what we do. That is part of why we have language, right? Because we rely on each other so much in order to simply survive, but also look at all that we have done. That is because we are communal animals. That is because we speak to each other. That is because we need to talk to each other, share things, and have our the perceptions that we have just alone in our heads, we need to have those expanded all the time by other people. So, highly suggest, friends who are not necessarily also artist friends, but that does help because artist people are already looking at the world in a way of sort of trying to figure out how can I take what I see and make that into my art, right? But just anybody, it's so good to be silly, to be the silly little monkeys that we are, with your friends, with your family. You have to be around people. You have to chat with people. And if it is unsafe for you to do so, like if you are immunocompromised, you have to build up community online or people that you talk to physically, like on the phone or on the computer or whatever. You have, like, we need that. We need, it is built into us to need that communication all the time and to sort of ground ourselves in the world when all is ablaze, right? To ground ourselves where we are. We're not, we're really not supposed to be so hyper aware of everything that's going on basically outside of our own little village, or if you're in a city, in your own neighborhood. We're not built individually to be able to handle that. So again, yes, I look at news and things like that, but and I know a lot of things that are going on in the world, but I also have to ground myself into my life where I physically am, because there is something too about being in these bodies, our spirits in these bodies on this earth, in the place that we are, like the physical place. Get grounded in that. You want to do any sort of activist work and stuff like that. I feel like a lot of artists generally do anyway, because we see, that's what we do. Do your activist work locally. That's the place where you're going to do the most benefit. There are some big things in the world, certainly, Palestine, donate for that, Congo, all these things, environmental things that are really near and dear to your heart as you can afford to. But the best work you can do is locally, even if that is just being your artist self and like, I'm a musician, obviously, you're on this channel. I'm a singer. The best thing for me, as safely as I can do it, especially as we turn into the winter now, I should be performing in my local area. I should be going around and bringing joy and also emotion and feeling and just that really good human stuff to the humans around me. So, number 3, and I think kind of the most important, but you have to be able to take care of 1 and 2 to be able to sort of get to this place where you feel okay enough to create, is know that we as artists are the ones who envision and put that vision into our work, the future. We are the ones who can imagine up the kind of worlds that we want to live in and make that available for other people to see. And they'll see different things in it, of course, because, once a piece of artwork goes out into the world, it's basically it's no longer mine anymore, right? It becomes this sort of egregore, like this spirit of what my music is or whatever art you put out there is, right? Because a whole whack of other people will see it. And a whole whack of other people from their own life experiences will see things that maybe you didn't in it, right? And not even maybe, they will see things that you didn't see in it, but it will evoke that for them. And so, in the way that I could create a song that is very hopeful, in the way that I view the world because of my life experiences and me being me, you will look at it or you will listen to it and you will hear hope in a different way because of your life experiences and you being you, right? It's very important to remember that's our job. That's our calling, is to be the people who are able to express in whatever medium it is that you work in. We are the people who can express these beautiful worlds that we are all just desperately in need of, right? So whether you're a singer, whether you're a musician, whether you're an artist with paints, whether you are a writer and you're writing stories and things like that, that's part of our job. That's part of our job. So even when you're writing something that maybe in less dire times could be felt differently in a less sort of like, there's a purpose to this song and it's to make us fight for the better, even in times when we don't have to fight like we do now. It is still something that reminds us of what we are always striving for, right? And then new songs get made, new paintings get made, new novels get made of what could it be even better than previous artists have had imagined could be. But because they were living in a worse time period, they couldn't see the enormousness of how good it could get here, right? So that's pretty much it. Like, those are the 3 things that I think are very, very, they've been sort of the 3 parts that have been pivotal in me being more able, because a lot of it is very paralyzing. But those are the 3 things that have been making me more able to get back, like really start to dig into music. I have a big project that I'm going to be working on after I'm all done with my Yuletide music for this year. And I'm so excited to get into it because, yeah, it does reflect what is going on in the world. It does reflect the hell that we're living through. So I hope that this can sort of show you some first steps if you're in a really dark place right now where creating just feels like a mountain. And believe me, I have been there. Thankfully, climbing back up it now, but I, yeah, I hope this is just like a handhold to gently get you out of where you are. Or if you have been slowly walking up that mountain, I hope, again, it is good company to keep you going so that we can all put out the works that will inspire the utopia that we must attain, that we must get to. I'm a little tired of living in dystopia because, there's a small group of men who don't care about anybody else but themselves and are so disconnected from the fact that we are communal and that we are also not just in community with other humans, but with the earth herself and all of the living creatures and the waters and the air and the rock beneath our feet. So I hope it helped, and I'll see you next time.